Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizzabitty channel. I am your host, Lizzabitty. I got too much going on over here with volume, etc. Thank you for joining the show today. We're going to have a unique, interesting discussion. I have a special guest who is actually in the background, and I think we should actually get this party started. So, what we want to talk about tonight is, I'm sure you all have seen what is happening on the world stage over in Afghan land. And so the culmination of all of these refugees who will actually plant themselves inside of America, aka DamErica, they're from my brother Go Black. And where does that leave melanated folks, Black people, who are not going to be able to get any more unemployment benefits for some who are still unemployed, as well as social services that are continuously being cut because we're being told there's no money. However, we have money for other folks, just not you. The taxpayers, the ones who are able to give them refuge. All right. So I'm going to bring my brother in. And thank you for joining. If you follow the ticker, I have some little questions that'll be down there that you can engage in as we continue this dialogue. So let me bring my brother in. All right. This is a surprise. As you can see, I did not put his name in the stream.
Hey, sis, how you doing?
All right, Captain.
All right,
How
all
are
right.
you?
I'm good, sis.
I know, long time no see. Where you
Yeah,
been? The people want
working,
to know.
grinding, getting better, you know?
Good.
Right.
I need to be doing the same.
I'm sure you are. You're always busy.
We're doing something. So
Definitely.
let's just jump right into it. So the recent events that started with the drawdown and evacuation of troops out of Afghanistan, and now you have
Right.
all these thousands of refugees who are trying to emplace themselves at the I wouldn't say chagrin, but at the admin of the U.S. government into America. But as you know, Congress has not voted on this. And so the large numbers of them are not entering because, as you know, it is also illegal. My question is that I want to dig into is that you're a Black American. We are
No, proud
consistently,
Black American.
okay, you are a
Very proud.
PBA, proud Black American.
The
Got it.
proudest, yes.
Okay, so my question is, considering all, we can't get any type of reparations from the federal government. I mean, it is just unheard of. They don't even want to put it on the table for a vote. They want to continue to study stuff. But when you look at what's happening with these refugees, everyone is getting a piece of the pie except the proud Black Americans like us. I mean, I'm just saying, it seems like we just consistently get left out in terms of monetary gain, but others, they get it before us. What say you? Give me your ideology about what's going on.
Ooh. Well, see, being a proud Black American, I never looked for a handout from anyone. right? I
It's not a
take
handout.
advantage.
Hold up. Hey. Now we're gonna have a good discussion, not with you and your shenanigans, okay? None of this handout business. You are a tax-paying American.
Right.
Nothing to do with handouts.
Well, I didn't finish my sentence.
Okay,
So
well,
you cut
keep
me
that out.
before I
But go
finished my
on.
sentence. So what I was going to say, sis, is that as a proud Black American, I've never taken a handout personally, right? What I've done is take advantage of the what do you call it, the opportunities in America,
Okay.
and everyone in my circle has done that as well. And those that are not in the position to maximize those opportunities in America, I and my group 50 Deep will lend a hand up to those people that need it. All right. So I'm about do for self. I'm about each one teach one, not waiting around for some white man to cut a check. Now, if the check gets cut, I want it absolutely, because our ancestors, they need to be compensated through their progeny, us, right? So that's not that work was already done. So they need to cut the check. I'm going to keep it 100 with that. As far as these Afghanis, I don't think they're getting anything monetarily free of some substance. What they're doing is, and first of all, not all of them are coming to America. There were 50 that were sent to Uganda. There's a whole bunch that just landed in Mexico. They were flown by, like, I think a C-17 to Mexico. So they're spreading them out, and a lot of people don't want them. Where I am now, they accepted a couple, and the people here are already standing up. They don't want them. So it's not all to America. But what I would say is that, I don't look at immigrants as competition. I don't look at them as threats, because we were there, and for 400 years already, right? And after slavery, now that's a real thing, but I don't want to say after we were freed, right? But after slavery, we did what we had to do. And there's a lot of Black Americans that continue to do what they have to do. So the immigrant that comes fleeing a war-torn country isn't really my concern, honestly.
Okay, so let's unpack a few things that you said. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll start at the latter and then work my way to the former.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not talking about them in terms of competition.
Mm-hmm.
What I am saying is you have different groups in America
Right.
that have been championing the plight of the Black man in America
Right.
for the injustice put upon us at the behest of the United States government. Okay?
Right.
Because redlining and all of these bad loans, etc., all of that was done with the government championing that stuff on against
Absolutely.
us. So I'm not saying that we're in competition with them. What I'm saying is it seems as though other groups are getting things before us. An example is when the current administration got in office, when you look on, and I did the video about this now,
Mm-hmm.
the list of all of these executive orders that were put into place first was the anti-Asian hate bill.
Right.
What is the anti-hate bill for us and all that we have gone through? So I'm not talking about being in competition. I'm saying that it appears. Let's think about the optics of things. It appears that others are getting on before us. That's all I'm saying. I'm not asking per se for a handout. It seems that the relationship that we have with DamErica, it seems to be one-sided. They are treating us like we are the bust down. And I ain't nobody's bust down. So
Right.
I'm
So
just saying.
the bust down treatment, people will treat you how you allow them to treat you.
Okay.
I never been around I've been around bust downs. But people that I choose to work with in my circles, I have everyone from people who just got out of jail, who were putting their life back on track in America, to millionaires. I literally have about 3 millionaires in my phone who are trying to turn me into a millionaire, right? That's off of the opportunity in America. So, what is the anti-Black, anti-hate for Black people? Well, that's the gun bill. Get armed, get strapped. You understand what I'm saying? No one is going to do it for us, but we need to take advantage of the laws that are already in place in America to protect ourselves. Like the end fact that was a little haphazardly thrown together, in my opinion. But no one. If you expect other people to save you and to help you, you're lost in the sauce. You might as well just dig a grave and jump in it. So look, I love what that duress, that pressure cooker that America was. I love who I became because of it. You understand? I can go anywhere in this world and I could get it because we grew up in the belly of the beast, and it made me who I am, a king. You see what I'm saying? So that's due to that pressure cooker. And in that pressure cooker, or we'll call it a game for now. Your job is to learn the game, play the game, and win the game. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us that, because of generational beatdowns, so to speak, right? A lot of us have lost our will to fight, have lost just the will to fight, and we feel like, well, it ain't nothing gonna happen. Generations of my family being poor. My job is to make Black Americans understand that you can get the bag in America. You can be whatever you want to be in America. So the overstated and inflated, we're being hunted and we can't do nothing. That's all nonsense. That's weak talk. You know what I'm saying? We can do it wherever we want. So we take what we can learn in America and then apply it somewhere else. If you want to leave, then leave. If you want to stay, you stay. But I'm not running nowhere. I'm going to support my people worldwide from wherever I am, because that's how I was built. Brooklyn taught me that.
Okay. So one point that you also mentioned, Knock, when you said that, some of the refugees, are being spread throughout the world to different countries. But there is a reason for that. As I mentioned at the beginning, they cannot bring the mass numbers onto U.S. soil without getting approval from Congress and the Senate. That's just the way it is. Okay. So that's why you have the government reaching out to several different nations saying, hey, my brother Knock, can you take some? Lizzabitty, can you take some? So that's why they are being spread about all over, because they cannot bring them all onto U.S. soil. So
that's America saying, look, we're not trying to flood our population with a whole bunch of new immigrants that are going to be, I guess you can call it, competition for low-paying jobs or even high-paying jobs, because a lot of these people are professionals where they come from. Okay, these are people where a lot of them are people. Afghanis.
The bulk of them are not. I don't know if you know the stats about the literacy rates there, et cetera, but the bulk of them are not. Yes, they have some people who were interpreters, a few doctors, et cetera, et cetera. But the vast numbers of them, no, they are not. They may have had a skilled trade. Let's say that some may have been plumbers, electricians, et cetera, who were working with USAF forces or NATO forces while we had been there for 20 years. So you're right in that. Now, maybe some skilled trade folks, they may, depending on if they're quick learners on how to go from 220 to 110 and how to make those switches.
Right.
Because that's not an easy conversion. Just because you're an electrician that works on 220 doesn't mean that you automatically know how to work on 110.
Right.
A little bit different, even though mathematically you may say, but anyway, I got what you're saying. I'm just saying those are some of the reasons why that is going on. But also,
that's why I said some. I didn't say all. Okay. Afghanistan is pretty much the opposite of America in terms of opportunity. But when you have duress, when you have people that live in a pressure cooker, and make no mistake, Afghanistan is a pressure cooker. You have people that are forced to make something out of nothing, right? When they take that drive and they come to America, they're like, oh, wow, these people are not taking advantage of this, so they hit the ground running. That is the story of the immigrant in America. They see the opportunity that we take for granted as Black Americans, and they make it pop based on that. And my job is to make sure that our people make it pop and don't let these other people come through. And then next thing you know, you taking your dates to the new Afghan restaurant, that's owned by a person who was in a C-17, dodging bullets. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. They'll come and look, let them come. I'm not worried about competition. Competition only drives productivity. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not with the narrative that, oh, they're coming, they're being dumped in our hood. Look, you know, America, and especially where I'm from, New York, is like an immigrant state. So even Black Americans are, I would say, we're kind of like becoming a minority amongst Black people in New York, because there's a lot of Caribbean immigrants and African immigrants in New York anyway. But I never looked at them like competition. Like, my people had a head start. So what I do is I make those connections, right? Went to a HBCU, know how to talk the talk, walk the walk, know how to work within that system, and then make it pop. So you could put me anywhere in the world and I'm gonna get it popping. So these immigrants that come, or these refugees, so to speak, while I don't give two craps about them, honestly, right? They're not on my radar either way.
Either way. Okay, so let me switch it this way then.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the narrative that the people in Congress, in the Senate, etc., when they are always talking about the issues as it pertains to the illegals that are south of the border that are coming in, and them wanting us to be more amenable. But I want you to think about this in terms of money.
What do you mean minimal? As in Black people?
Us being amenable to them coming in.
Oh, okay.
Right. So think about this. Now we're going to do a paper chase.
Yeah.
So think of all of the businesses that feed into having not only refugees, but just illegals that come, let's say, south of the border into the country. That's a lot of money. When you think about, I just read an article on Politico about all these businesses that are going to be, making money because of clothing, basic furnishings, and they may be contracted out through GSA. I don't know if you're familiar with how that works, when you get your company put on there and they'll use you for different bids when they go out and everything. So yeah, so all of that. I want to play the money game here. I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Let's pay it.
That you're not necessarily concerned with them coming in. However, I'm saying that the citizens of the country, and that really, it doesn't matter what color they are. If they are citizens of the U.S., they're paying into a taxation system that is able to do all this. We claim we have no money to do X, Y, and Z. Well, then how are y'all sending out proposals and stuff for all these people coming in here? I'm just saying, again, I'm saying the relationship seems one-sided. You don't think so?
Well, look, I'm not going to get up here and argue that, we haven't received the short end of the stick in America, right? But at what point do you say, okay, you keep reaching for that same short stick, or you go chop down a tree and make your own stick? This is what I'm saying. The government contracts, there's Black people, there's Black Americans that have bid and won those government contracts. The businesses that are going to be sourced to provide whatever, temporary shelter, clothing, food, and things of that nature, Black America, get you some of that government money. Why aren't we talking about stimulating Black business so that and putting them on game so that they can get that government money as well? It's not just about waiting for the reparations check. It's about taking advantage of the money that is there. As far as them earmarking, Black American money here, that ain't gonna happen, and we know it ain't. So let's stop waiting for it.
Okay, so let's stick right to this point that you're saying, that we could be businesses that are ascertaining some of these contracts as well.
Yep.
Do you know what it takes to get on the list where we can actually do bidding, etc.?
Well, educate me. I'm sure that it's possible.
In terms of companies. So that is a solution. Great. That is a solution. So people need to have their Duns and Bradford stuff checked out, their SAMS.gov checked out. Okay. and petition so that they can get on to be preferred vendors for GSA. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that in itself is a process, but if we haven't already done that, then I guess we are behind the curve because
And
they're already coming.
that's what we are. We've always been behind the curve because we're comfortable in America. We're comfortable allowing other people to come in and get this money, and then we complain and complain and complain. I don't do the complaining. You know what I'm saying? While I'm not speaking to you, or if I'm not doing something on YouTube or whatever, I'm studying. I'm looking for new clients. I'm looking for all sorts of ways to make this money. Like, I love stacking money, and I'm not rich at all, but I love stacking money. That's like my hobby. But when you are comfortable, comfortability is the killer of productivity. You see what I'm saying? People just say, oh, well, I can live off of this government money, right? Stay in the projects, I have my family, and a lot of people don't have that drive. And someone who doesn't have drive, that's something that you can't give, you can't teach. Either you have drive or you don't. So when I come in contact with a brother and I see that they don't have drive, or I want them to succeed more than they want themselves to succeed, that's a very short conversation. Bro, I'll holler at you. That's why we can't afford to cast our pearls to swine, so to speak. We have to be very smart with our resources, and time is one of my best resources, right? So I'm going to devote my time to the top 5 in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, who I'm already working in there. And that's a Black community, right? It's a poor community,
Yes,
but it's a poor community with diamonds. So my job is to sift through all the soot and find those diamonds and shine them up because they're there. And then lead by example. Okay, he came from here. He could do it. So can I. And that's what the beauty of America is, that you can come from the bottom and make it to where you need to go. You could talk about police brutality and all of that. That's another conversation because those things are overstated as well. But as far as the financial aspect of it, whatever an immigrant can come here and do, we can do it as well, because we were here before a lot of these immigrants. Okay, a lot of them started coming after Black Wall Street, right? They came, they jumped right on the ops team, team anti-Black America. It's cool. Your hate only makes me stronger. Like, I remember taking one of my certification tests here. I walked in the room. I was the only Black dude. Only Black dude. That shit, excuse my language, that motivated me crazy. I said, yo, I'm not going to be the only guy to fail, or the only Black guy. They think that I'm going to fail. So I was the first one done. No wrong answers. And then when it was time to go to the practical, that people with experience kept failing and failing and failing, they wanted them to pass. So you know what they said? Go get with the American guy. He knows what he's doing. And I never know how to do that stuff. I studied it for 2 weeks because Black Americans are awesome. We are excellent. And once we start talking to each other and building each other up in the truth that we are excellent, because we are. We went through all of that stuff, we got, and we still do it. You know what I'm saying? You're Black excellence. I'm Black excellence. And this is what I want my Black Americans to understand. You are excellent. You can do it. If our ancestors did it, they did Black Wall Street and a whole bunch of other things. Why can't we? Don't let these refugees come and run circles around us, because then what is that going to say about us? We're not putting respect on our ancestors' name if we allow that to happen.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you another question. So I want you to, this is metaphorical.
Yes.
But when you are in a relationship and you are consistently being abused, are you telling the people to take it, or are you telling them to get out? I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you, what is this abuse you're talking about today?
Answer mine first, and then I'll answer yours.
Well, okay, it's what we call a loaded question. Okay, you're asking me a loaded question, and I see it, but I'm going to humor you because you're my sister. If you're in an abusive relationship, what you do is you leave, right? Now, I would ask you to define what the abusive relationship is in terms of this
I
metaphor.
mean, if the other partner here in this place that you call
Mm-hmm.
DamErica is
Mm-hmm.
consistently stepping on the black man, I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, why not try something different? I mean, you trying something different.
Hey,
Look
check
where
this
you
out.
are. I'm
No,
just saying.
but look where I'm going. I'm over here to get money, right? So now, um, let's take your analogy, right? And instead of the black man, I'm gonna talk about the black woman. How many black
Okay.
women? Yeah. I'm gonna put it right back at you, sis. How many black women were in an abusive relationship? What did they do? What do even women that are not in an abusive relationship? What does every woman do when they start seeing that it ain't going right? What do they start doing? Stacking that
I'm gonna
money to the
I'm
side.
gonna I'm gonna speak
Wait, wait, wait,
from myself.
wait.
Oh,
Hold on.
okay,
Before
okay,
let
go
me
ahead.
finish. They all start putting that little money to the side for their exit plan. They all start looking at the front door, stacking that money. Go do the groceries. Oh yeah, it was extra. Oh, 20 extra. You didn't ask for the change. Boop, they put it to the side until one day that abusive man comes home and then the house is empty and they gone. So what I'm saying, if you feel abused, right, and you're already here, take advantage and get this money, and then you can make your moves wherever you want to go, whether it be Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, wherever. You see what I'm saying? But don't make an emotional decision to leave like, oh, Hoppo beating me, oh, right? And then you run and you leaving broke. You know what I'm saying? Because while we got some of us that are leaving off of emotional decisions, there's other people that are coming that look just like us who were taking advantage of the financial and economical and educational aspects, the infrastructure that is better than a lot of these places that our people are fleeing to make an emotional decision. So if you want to leave, leave. I wish you the best. If you want to stay, stay. But what I don't do is decision shaming. And I see that a lot in the Pan African community. Oh, y'all want to stay and keep getting beat down by the white man, right? Okay, no doubt. I don't have that smoke. If you want to go, I wish you the best. If you're leaving and we family, we the same ethnic group, you should say, yo, brother, I can respect yours, but I'm leaving. All right, cool. You do you, I'll do me. And hey, if you need something from America that you can't get over there, holla at me. I got you. And if I need a place to
Okay.
stay when I get over there, it's about that. It's not about decision shaming. And that's what we do.
Now I will agree. I will agree.
Of course
I
you will. I'm
totally
always
agree
right.
that yes, the space. Here we go. The space does. I think it's a lot of tension in the space with that,
Yeah.
because some people who are not willing to make the leap. I.e., I did a video about uh, Dom Jamar talking about how he's tired of hearing about Black Americans saying they're going to move to Africa. Well, how does that bother you? Like, don't listen to it then.
Right.
So I think that negativity is perpetuating other negativity, and the sides are fighting this way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Right.
in terms of right, so in terms of um, you asking me about what women do in terms of an abusive relationship, etc.
Yeah.
I'm only going to speak for myself. Now I know what the statistics say.
Mm-hmm.
As I have shared on this channel before, I am a survivor of domestic violence. Now, I gave my abuser 2 chances, but on the second chance, I mean, it literally was going to be like battle of the fittest, if you will.
Right.
So I wasn't a person who was going to continuously stay and let someone try to end my life and I not try to end their lives, you know.
Right.
So there you have it. But I recognize statistically, you're absolutely correct. Women do typically some, but some will stay because they look at the bigger picture. Like, I don't have the money to leave. Well, I wasn't in that
Right.
situation in that regard, and maybe they didn't have a way out to say, okay, let me jump here, let me go here, to find different avenues where they could seek or get help. So I
Right.
get that to a point, but I'll give you another analogy, because you are a parent. It's kind of like I've seen videos with you, you know, working out with your son and you teaching him, you know, moves and stuff and all of this. I mean, and you being the teacher of this craft, if he was doing it wrong and continuously kept doing it wrong and not listening to you, you would tell him, stop beating your head the same way. If you listen to me, I'm telling you how to do it this way, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So I'm saying it's kind of the same thing for us, in that if
Us as
we have
who? As
been,
the Pan-Africans?
us meaning black folk. Now, you know how I am about these
Okay.
titles. You know I
Yeah,
don't
I
get into
got you.
these
I
titles.
got you. So I won't put your title on you, but I was just trying to follow you. Continue, sis.
Okay, but I'm saying just in terms of blacks, if we in the West, if we have been doing things, our parents, grandparents been doing things the same way, and we have gotten the same results. All I'm saying is try a different way, because it seems that we keep getting the short end of the stick. Now, I understand what you're saying. As I've said to you, you've been on here before, Knock, and I've said, this is not for everybody. I make that very, very clear.
Right.
Some of us need to go and get some mental help, which is what we refuse to do. Stay up at these churches, which is what we refuse to do. All of this stuff, so that we can get ourselves together. If you're saying that this is a move you want to make, that's going to take time, because most of us just are not mentally prepared and equipped to do that. And then maybe, just maybe, Acabulon is not for you. There's other places you can go. You have people who are moving to Costa Rica. You
Right.
lived in Curacao, am I correct?
Yes. Had a house
Okay,
there.
so
And
yeah,
NYPD paid
okay,
for that house when they falsely arrested me. But I got my good Jewish
okay.
lawyer and drained their pockets. But go on.
My point, Enoch, is that there's other places that we can go besides going on to the continent.
Right.
But I feel like, too, this is also part of a fad. And so when people, because this topic came about just because I've been seeing different discussions about the influx of these different refugees who are coming and what they're going to be getting versus us. And if you're tired of everybody else doing X, Y, and Z, go elsewhere. I mean, I'm not in the States. You know where I am.
Right.
So I'm just saying there are other options outside of her. You can go elsewhere. So you're absolutely correct. Out of the pushing it and getting shamed for it and all of that.
Right.
No, there's other places you can go.
Right. Absolutely. If you want to, if you want to. But, let's just cut the crap, right? Let's just talk about it. There's a lot of people that say that we have to leave America because of XYZ. And what they talk about is racism, um, the lack of generational wealth. They talk about police brutality. Those are like the three things that they always hit on. But when we really dig deep into it, like none of them would be able to really do it if they had the same starting point as the African living there. They're doing it off of Black American privilege, money that they made working in companies in America, money that or they got the privilege to travel on a blue passport with the golden eagle. They're living off of pensions that they made in the military. Okay, and some of them were probably flying goddamn missions to bomb certain places in Africa. Let's keep it 100. And then they want to go to Africa like, yeah, I made it, you didn't. Now that's disingenuous, because what you're doing is you're going to Africa on the American dollar and then talking crap about America. They're calling it DamErica. I don't call it that. It's America. It's United States of America. And when these immigrants and refugees come and they put more respect on it and they make it pop. The reason why there's so many Nigerian doctors and lawyers and things of that is because they see all the opportunity that they don't get in Nigeria. I'm like,
I
yo,
agree.
so why are we shaming people because they want to stay where they were born? The fact of the matter is, Pan-Africanism, Black nationalism, the go back to Africa movement is a very fringe movement. Fringe.
Mm.
The majority of Black Americans are not thinking about Africa. The majority of Africans are not thinking about Black Americans. We are thinking about college tuition, rent, car notes, credit unions, what sale is at Target, We're thinking about daily, day-to-day stuff. The Africans on the continent are thinking about school fees, sending their children abroad, or sending their children to schools in their own countries. They have their own issue. So this fringe thinking, where everyone says, well, we got to go home because that's what, come on. If that was really your home, I'd like you to say that to me in the language of the place that you're talking about. They can't do it because these people put the fleeing in front of the learning of the culture. None of these repatriates speak the languages of the country that they go to. None of them. What do they do as soon as they hit the ground running? I got a tour company. You want some real estate? That's all they do. 1 and 2. You see, I'm not one of these YouTube woke people. Matter of fact, I'm not woke. I'm active. You can be woke and staring at the ceiling in your bed and not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So you want to talk about generational wealth? Okay, well, show me how buying, $100,000 money, land for $100,000 is generating wealth for you. It's not. Most of these people are going there just to rest because they had enough of the rat race. I respect them. I get you. Mm-hmm. But don't try to shame me because I'm still on my grind. Don't shame me because for everyone that leaves, there's 10 that stay in America or even more because, like I said, that Back to Africa thing is a fringe movement. Most of our people as Black Americans are staying back. So who is going to be there to each one and teach one for our own youth? Who's going to be there to protect our grandmoms, right? Our women that keep going to these stupid ass, Asian nail salons. Who's going to be there when a Korean man decides he wants to put paws on her? Those are people like me. Those are people who are not leaving. So wish me luck. I'll wish you luck. Let's respect each other's decisions and keep it like that. I love going to the continent for vacation. Wouldn't want to live there. Not going to live there. But those that want to, it's cool until you start talking about, you could stay in America and get shot by the police. I'm like, okay, y'all really want to talk about the numbers? Because the numbers are on my side. 241 last year. And out of those 241, hold on, sis, hold on. Out of those 241, half of them, you know what I'm saying, paid the price of doing that kind of business. And when we talk about police brutality on the continent, speak to an honest African and let them tell you how heavy-handed the police are there. So you're running from one problem of the opposition that you can see because he don't look like you. Now you go into a place where the op looks just like you, but then they don't care. It's still police brutality is police brutality. So let's just respect each other's decision. That's all I'm saying.
No, so in regards when you say, again, I do agree that we should respect each other's decision. This is not for the faint at heart. And I understand all the contentions that you have, all of the different things that you laid out here and why they can be contentious because you're calling them fringes, etc.
Fringe ideology.
Right. So what I am proposing, as I said earlier, this is just not for everyone. And people, I don't come on here and talk about people being killed at the hands of the police or anything like that. And primarily the reason why I don't do that is because it's been going on.
Right.
It's been going on. I mean, I remember being a kid in the 80s with all this going on, even long before that. I mean, the time of the civil rights movement and before that as well. Black men being slaughtered by the hands of the police. And it seems like now it is just a part of pop culture because you have all of these sub movements now that get on the bandwagon and profit off of Black death. You know this. This is what they do. Okay.
Not Black death. Black American death. Black American death. What we do as Black Americans, go on.
No, because we've had immigrants that have been killed by the police in America as well. So I'm saying
Absolutely.
black as a whole in America. But
But
that
the
is why
majority is Black Americans. Let's keep it 100. You have your Amadou Diallos, but the majority are Black American men.
The Gambian diplomat son who was killed a few months back in Atlanta, more recent one. But that is the reason why I do not delve into that, because people act like this just started. It didn't just start.
Right.
It's been going on. I mean, people will walk in to make complaints against police officers, and their complaints would basically never be put into the intake system.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. You live in New York.
Yeah.
You know what was going on. So that is why I'm saying this is nothing new. This has been going on. So there again, when we talk about being sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's where I'm saying that comes from. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you no matter where you go. I'm sure you have stories about your time when you lived in Curacao, about things that happened there that was unique and different from what you experienced as a New Yorker. Right. So I'm not plaguing it up by saying that you are going to go. See, I think some people are giving all of it a false sense of hope.
Right.
I am not one of these people to say, okay, well, I'm leaving because they're killing all the black men. Well, we know that they're not doing that. I was somewhere else talking about this. No, on one of my live streams when I was talking about plagues within our community and how we are complicit to our own downfall. Boom. We know we have cancer sitting right in our communities and we don't do nothing. And then I'll have a man tell me, well, this person doesn't listen. Street justice is real. But you got to know how to move when you enact stuff like that. You just don't go out and just show yourself. I mean, come on, 50 Deep. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
I know it. Now you're cooking.
Okay. So in regards to, but I recognize that some people, they don't want to have that honest dialogue about that. They don't want to have that honest, everybody is not going to be, I'm going to use this as well-rounded and as, or maybe they are, but they don't want to deal with those particular issues because they never address that stuff. They never address it, but it's always about the police are doing, okay, got it. That percentage is this, but what are you folk doing? Or when you say that knock, then people are looking at you as well as if you're a pariah. Like, why are you bringing up this crime when you're not talking about this? No, we in the Black community in America, okay, we have long shielded cancers and plagues in our community. That's just facts. When you have kids who go home and tell their parents that someone has done X, Y, and Z to them, and the women, a lot of these women will sit because they are competing with their own daughters, will say, were you lying? But see, you all don't want to have that conversation because I would dog walk you. I grew up in a family of dysfunction. My parents were the epitome of dysfunction. So I know all about all this stuff. But people do not want to have those cold-hearted conversations, Knock, when you think about situations like that as it pertains to our community. So where is a kid supposed to go if they can't talk to their own mother, their own father? So then they go and see a dealer down the street. He becomes a father figure. I mean, this is how, or the gangs down the street. So, but we don't want to address those issues. And you see in this space, most of us do not talk about that. You know this. We don't. Because we're using the premise, well, I'm tired of Black men being killed in the streets. Well, hold up. Are you? Now, I do make this claim. It is very refreshing not to go on to out here and not wake up to rashes of gunfire. Although, yes, I am a gun owner myself back stateside. But it is nice to be able to just walk and you don't have to worry about not having stray bullets, be it from whomever. So just in terms of simple peace, simple peace. I mean, I'm all for that, but no, we're not having those conversations. I totally agree what you're saying. You're absolutely correct, but we're not going to have those conversations
I'd
because
ask people that are watching in the chat to share the stream because my sister and I, we're cooking right now, and more people need to see this. More people need to subscribe to her. So if you didn't hit the like button, hit it so that more people can get this knowledge. All right, continue, sis.
thank you. But I recognize that that when people give their reasons and stuff, um, these particular subject matters are not being harped on to say what's really going on.
Right.
My contention is and always has been, even when I say, okay, well, I'm looking at what's happening here and people are talking about these refugees, etc. Okay, you're staying back. But are you supporting these Black-owned businesses? Or are you just trying to get on these social media sites and floss to say you have this kind of car, you got this kind of clothes, this kind of handbag, etc., etc., etc.? Those are conversations that we just are not having and being authentic about it. Because we may just be having it because it's Black Restaurant Week or it's, I mean, why is it not part of your pedigree all day and all night?
Yeah. Have you ever seen me wear anything besides the color black?
I have not.
Exactly. I live this black.
Well, wait, I seen your work coat. Your work coat is red and blue, I think.
Blue, right? But when I get on all of these streams, there's a reason why I wear this all black because it reminds me of who I am. It reminds me of our struggles, and it reminds me why I have to be and embody Black excellence. I'm not going to do the chat thing, but there's someone in the chat that said it seems like my motivation and what makes me happy is money and things of that nature. They don't know what I do on the continent, what I do in Black America, because I'm not the type of person to do something and then put a camera in their face and say, look, now tell them how much I helped you. I don't do that. But my sister Lizzabitty facilitated one of my, initiatives in Ghana. Correct, sister?
Correct. Correct.
So that's what drives me, is to be able to help Black people worldwide with a focus on Black America. Okay. And to be able to do that, you need money. You could have all the great intentions in the world, but if you don't have no money, you don't have no power. So I can be the best father to my daughter, but if I'm not showing her what she should be looking for in a man by living and being that, being a provider, being a protector, being a nurturer, being a leader and a teacher, then I'm setting her up for failure. So this drive that I have is not just financially driven. It's really not. It's excellence driven. I look at stuff and I'm like, yo, I have, like, literally, and I'm not bragging, I don't think I've ever failed a test in my life, except my driving test the first time in Brooklyn. But like academic tests, I don't fail because I've been taught by my parents and my uncles and stuff how to study properly for a test. I pass that on to my children. And we've as Black Americans been taught you always have to be what? Twice as good, always early, to get the same pay or whatever, So that was instilled in me. That's what I talk about, the gladiator school. I talk about the pressure cooker, right? I talk about the game that we have to play, master, and then win. So that's what I'm driven by. And finances, I'm not only financially driven, I'm driven 2 M's, M&M's, money and military, because I'm a man. So you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the military to protect it, you're food. You could walk down the street with 10 million in a backpack. I could take it from you with a $2 knife from Costco. You understand what I'm saying? So money and military, and there's a whole bunch of other things. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm one-sided, but I can't go over everything that I do because I'm not that kind of dude. Most of my videos on YouTube now are private, so sometimes I just get on and start trolling people just to pass the time if I'm not studying or whatever. But what drives me are my children, my wife, my career, and my plan.
Okay, well, a few things here because I want to get to some of the comments in the chat here, Knock, and let you respond to some of those. one thing I wanted to say.
Wait, hold on, sis. Read Elizabeth Nyarko's. Can I read her comment? Maybe people want to
Okay.
leave America because they are tired of the children being killed in schools. Things like that never happen in Africa. Nyarko, are you Ghanaian? If you are Ghanaian, you already know that Ghana is probably the shining star of West Africa, right? So I wouldn't use them as far as crime is concerned, but there are crimes that happen in Ghana. But I would direct you to northern Nigeria, right? You know, two countries away. So don't say that it never happens in Africa, especially when I'm on, because I'm going to hit you with the facts. And let's take it to Burkina Faso, right? A month ago, there was like 12 to 15-year-old kids killed like 150 something people, right? That happens in Africa as well. So we're not going to do the America's crap, Africa's the only answer, unless we're going to really start talking about facts and data. So thank you, Elizabeth Narco, for your comment.
Now, in terms of resources, natural resources, Africa is the only answer. That's law, that's facts, okay?
For who? For who?
For the world. For the world, baby. Natural resources.
Explain it to me how we can.
Natural resources. That's the facts. That periodic table that you learned about when you started in what, the 3rd or 4th grade? And all those natural resources.
Right.
All of them, every last one on that periodic table.
Africa has it.
Africa
has it. Now who's
I want you to name
it?
another continent or land mass on planet Earth where every last one of them exists. Do not leave one out. I'm talking about every.
None.
Okay.
Africa got it. Now I want you to make now who's benefiting from it?
We know who's benefiting from it.
No, but don't jump over that question, sis, because that's what a lot of people
Others.
Hold on, sis, because you made your point.
All right.
Well, when you bring me on, we're gonna have real conversation.
All right.
People like to say, well, you gotta leave because of natural resources, everything's in Africa. Okay, well, Esso is the one that's digging or is off the coast of Ghana right now. That had all those spills that just pretty much destroyed the livelihoods of local Ghanaian fishermen. Google it. Okay. If you go to South Africa, it's Total. That's a French company. If you go to Nigeria, it's who? Shell. Right. So the natural resources. But shout out to Ghana. Yeah, exactly. And so do I. So, but like when we talk about shout out to Ghana again, because I believe they're doing some stuff, right? I think this aluminum, they have their own, because the thing is not to have the natural resources, it's to refine them. Yes. So Ghana's taking it from the ground to the finished product in certain areas, and that is the way that it has to go. So when we say Africa, we got to start pinpointing who, what, where, and how. Okay, so that I like Ghana. I'm partial to Ghana in terms of this because I'm seeing what they're doing. Every hard question I give, I Google it, and then I say, oh, okay, they're working on that. Okay, they're working on that. They're working on a cocoa. They still have a long way to go, but I like the direction that they're going
in. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say, just in terms of the natural resources, and you are correct, just in terms of the oil spills, etc. So you are correct about that. Now, what I did want to say is, when you talked about your community works within the continent itself, specifically in Ghana. So for those of you who are going to watch the replay, etc., as you all know, I'm a person, I move in silence. Yes, I make videos, etc. I am not, however, there are certain things I do not put out. Right. And so, yes, behind the scenes, not contact me. He needed something done. Yes, I can facilitate that. I'm not coming on here saying what I did for him or what Knock is doing in Ghana. Right. No, and if he wants all that out, he'll put all that out. But if you all remember, I said on one of the previous lives, there's a reason why I move like I move. And so at times you should move that way as well. I noticed, because I see Finish the Race VL in the chat, she moves that way as well. And not just telling everything that she is doing as she makes her journey, because she's going to be moving to Nigeria here soon. But it is important, unless you are a person that likes all of these accolades, then of course you're going to put everything that you're doing out there if you want. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't showcase certain things, but everything all in perspective. I mean, I showed a little girl who was basically mocking the adult woman because she wanted to wash clothes. So the woman went and made her a bucket of knock and put some clothes and soap in there, and she's making like she's washing clothes. Yep. It was the most hilarious thing to watch. So stuff like that. But I am not coming just to give everything. But there are things that are being done behind the scene, and we are just not giving all of that out in totality, because you just need to move it a little bit different. If things are coming from the heart, of course, you're not looking for a fandom and pandemonium because you did X, Y, and Z. So I definitely understand that. Now, in terms of Elizabeth's Narcos comment about the shootings in schools, let me say this, because you had spoke about that. So I do understand your contention, but I have never come on in here and told any of you there is a utopia anywhere. You're gonna get your utopia if you believe in afterlife. You'll get it when you leave planet Earth and you go to the great beyond with your maker. Okay, that's when you're gonna get it. Now, if you've been doing bad dealings while you've been on Earth, then you'll get what you get. Now, if you've been doing good dealings, then you're gonna get what you get. You'll get what you get, but you're not going to find a utopia where there's no crime, no killing, no etc. However, I told you all about the food supply. The food supply in America is contaminated. That's the facts. I don't care nothing about no Whole Foods, none of that. Because stuff that is able, because of processing and everything and how we do with animals, this stuff that they put in all these amphetamines and barbiturates and stuff, that's why we're so fat. That's why we're so fat. Mm-hmm. And then we're trying to push GMO off on everybody. You know, so you're going to find ills. My point is, Elizabeth, you're going to find ills no matter where you go. There's no utopia. What you're going to have to decide is what you're willing and not willing to put up with. That's how it's going to go. What are you willing to put up with, and what is it that you just cannot live without? And that's how you'll make all this happen for yourself. All right, let's go down some of these comments. Now I'm gonna go all the way back up here, and let's see what we got here. Okay, let's see here. Blind guy and his wife says, let's see. We can do the same stuff they can do after we jump the walls, get through the red tape, get off the blacklist. We can rebuild what they keep tearing down Wall Street neighborhoods. Yes. What say you, Knock? Because it seems like in terms of Black Wall Street and these neighborhoods and things, whenever Black people put their mind together for some congruence for the betterment of Black people, the government becomes complicit and tears it all down.
Well, you know, that happened not recently. I believe there was a bombing in Philadelphia a while ago, you know, in recent times, of a Black neighborhood or something to that effect. But I'm trying to get the gist of his comment. Is he basically trying to say that why keep building it up if they're going to keep tearing it down?
No, I think that she is saying that per se.
Put it back up there, please.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Here we go.
We can do the same stuff they can do after we jump the walls, get through the red tape, get off the blacklist. We can rebuild what they keep tearing down. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I understand her point now. Yeah, we have to do, like every Black American has had, you know, that talk, like we have to be twice as good, twice as hard. I get it, but in the end, you know, it'll pay off. I just think that a lot of us are thinking about the exit strategy and not hitting the ground doing work. They're going to the continent, you know, and they could do whatever they want to do. But I haven't seen the real grind from the majority of the people going there. I see a lot of people going there to be beach bums.
Okay. All right. So we have finished the race video saying everybody is not equipped. Yes. Now, you know, I agree with that.
Oh, absolutely. Me, actually, I think I would be a perfect candidate to live in Africa if I wanted to, right? Because I know, like when I was there, I was in Bukom in Ghana, right? I was good money. Like I was chatting with my wife and I'm walking down streets with no light. And she's like concerned for me. I'm like, nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? Never had one like interesting interaction with a drunk guy or whatever. But if you're not afraid of black people, then you'll be fine. You know, if you know how to adapt, you'll be fine. But now, what I think she's talking about is the mental aspect of it. You know, some people can be mentally cool in America, but then when they go to Africa and they get that, you know, that reality check that it ain't gonna be the same. That you might get caught on the toilet and the power goes out and then you assed out, literally. You know, there's I have two brothers. I think you know them, the twins in Ghana. These dudes, they hats off to them because they doing it for real. And they didn't caught malaria a couple of times. I said, yo, y'all got to go back. They're like, we ain't going nowhere. Like they're hardcore. The most people won't be that hardcore. So I say, take a leave of absence, go there for 3 months, get your feet wet, you know, plan your money correctly. Don't go there with 20,000 and start spending the same, you know, with your spending habits from America thing, because that 20,000 will become 200 in about 6 months.
Yes. Okay, so here we go here. This is a good comment here from Nana Kosawa.
If America isn't playing fair, then why should we? No, we don't play fair. No one plays fair. No one in the world plays fair. Understand that all these so-called world leaders or powerful nations, they got it off the backs of somebody else. What I'm saying is we don't play fair, but we'll take advantage of, you know, what we can and then make it pop. Like if we got the reparations check and you want to say, all right, cool, I'm out, boom. I'm not putting it back into the American economy. You can go wherever, then do that. If like I'm totally anti-American military because of how they treated Black Americans, but I like military itself. That's important. So I could say, you know what? Let me join this military, learn everything that I can, right? Take advantage of the GI Bill and things of that nature, and by peace, you know. So once you have access, use the access and don't play fair. You know, the stuff that I do, you know, as far as my activism is concerned, I was laughing because like, yo, I'll make money with them, and then the money that I make with them is funding stuff that is fighting injustices that are committed by them. You see what I'm saying? So we don't play fair. If you play fair, you know, you're going to lose in the game of life. But use the privilege of the American passport as long as we don't harm people on the continent or shame those who choose to stay. Perfect. No, you're not missing a point, sis. You're 100% correct. And I appreciate your comment.
Yeah, you on point with that one. You on point with that one. Yeah. Okay. So Finish the Race VL has a comment here. Oh, you already
addressed this one, but yeah, I think she has understanding now of how I think.
Okay, so I'm looking here. Blind guy, his wife, your life says this.
I was saying both sides of I was saying both sides of the coin, whether or not they tear it down, just keep going if you're still here. Get out if you're getting out. Just know what's involved on all sides. And that sort of balanced advice is rooted in insanity. It's rooted in it's not rooted in shaming, and it's very good advice, and I appreciate you for that, sis.
True. That's what I'm saying. People, it's kind of like, you know, the statement people say, knock, what I eat don't make you shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that.
But they keep wanting to shit off of what I ate. Like, how is that bothering you? You know, but again, I see, like you say, both sides too, because of the shaming tactic of it. No, this is not for everyone, and everyone's no one really knows how they're going to be able to adapt until they actually get there. And get there, I'll say, like you said, a good 3-month hiatus. You know, Exodus 8:7-6 says people need to be going 10 times. His standard is 10 times.
Better. That's even better.
Yeah, his standard is 10
To
times.
almost
Like, because
ensure
yes.
to ensure your success there, you need to be going that many times, or at least, or you say 5 times at 3 months per time, but you need to put your feet on the ground, because something you're gonna find out you ain't built for that life. And I'm not saying that that life is, I guess whatever you can afford would be that life, right? But even the high life in Africa, there's gonna be blackouts, because of infrastructure from the government. So them dollars ain't gonna make you feel like they made you feel, in America, so to speak, because there's gonna be some things that you're gonna have to do without. You're gonna have to deal with these not off-brand, but different types of brands. The milk tastes different, the soda tastes different, because the water sometimes is locally sourced. People have different tastes, so there's a lot of stuff that you got to get used to. Topping up, right? I knew how to top up from the Caribbean, from Curacao, but then when I went to Africa, it was a different sort of top up. So I went to this little stand and they had MTN, Glow. They didn't have Glow, but they had MTN and a whole bunch of other ones. And I'm like, what do I do? Normally, it comes right out of my account to T-Mobile, but there you gotta top up. You gotta understand. There's a whole bunch of things that a lot of people, who are making these moves based on YouTube videos, are gonna have a rude awakening. There's some families that went out there, or individuals that went out there with money, and then they had to leave because it wasn't as sweet as they thought. And I'm just saying, it ain't sweet. But if you know that it ain't sweet, and you go like the brother Exodus said, 10 times, you'll be good money.
Right, because his contention is that and I said it too, because I agree with that to a point, is that you're going to see different things each time, and then you have to decide, well, man, can I live with that, or can I maneuver with that, or it'll be, if you're really honest with yourself, you will begin to be able to discern and say, man, I ain't gonna be able to make it. I'm not gonna be able to do this. This is a bit too much for me. And it's unique too, just because you and I are two people that have lived in different countries. And so just as where you are currently, there are things that you're like, man, this is jacked up how they're doing this as well. Because one of could be possibly of what you used to, or maybe what you experienced when you were in Curacao. Maybe it was this way, maybe it was, and you're at the new place, it's this way. So just because whatever you're accustomed to, you're going to have to find all this out. But all that comes to with living in trial and error. So we have a comment here from Mad Capper. I'm not sure what he meant when he said we all have different levels of self-hatred. I don't know if he was talking about when we're having a discussion about how we have plagues within our community, and we sit around and let that mess fester at the peril of our own children. I'm not sure.
Mad Capper, I would ask him to follow that up with a little context so that we can put some respect on his comments. So Mad Capper, give us some context to that, please.
Yes.
Because I love myself. I love myself more than I probably should. I'm joking.
Your conceitedness is something else.
Salute to Donnie goes in.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Yes. Hello, bro. How are you? So I definitely agree with you. Just us as a community, we all are going to move in different directions, and some of us are going to be resilient to unique change, whereas others of us are not going to be. And so I just say, this is going to be what we make it. But just in terms of our topic and these Afghan refugees coming in, etc., I think that you are going to see, just watch the news and see what happens. It's about to get ugly.
You tell me, what do you think is going to happen? Or are you trying to wrap up right now?
No, I'm saying.
Okay, so tell me what you think is going to happen. Don't speak in
what
riddles.
what I think is going to happen, I think we need to talk about that offline.
Oh, yeah. Look, this is what I think is going to happen. What my concern, honestly, okay, when I saw those Afghans rushing those planes, this was my concern, was ain't nobody checking for COVID? That was my concern.
Social distancing. Have these people truly been vetted, and they're going to turn out to be part of the new World Trade Center whatever.
Wait,
All
they
of that.
already sent someone that was on no fly list. They got passed. So that is a real concern.
So you know what? Not just I'll say this in terms of this because you talk about being a person that likes the military, M&M, money in military.
Right.
Think of this. And yes, I got your spiel when you talked about us being in the military and how we're going, et cetera, et cetera. The people who control our military system are very incompetent. They may be competent when it comes to the tangibles that they use to enforce stuff. A bully can always be competent, but I think a lot of long-term things, right now we're showing our incompetence. Who does this? Who does it this way? There's a lot of mistakes as even a novice person like myself I can see that are basically like what we call fatal errors on so many fronts, and you just like, you folks supposed to be in charge, but some of you folk are dumber than sheetrock, and you're showing it. I mean, really, you put millions of dollars into a Navy SEAL, and one of your SEALs got cut down. Millions of dollars go into a guy who becomes a SEAL. This ain't chump change money. They have to train these folks. And he gets killed because of your stupidity. We're making a egregious error.
Like having the Taliban checking people for suicide bombs being the first point of security going to the airport. Stupid like that. Stupid like working with them when y'all was just trying to kill each other 3 months ago.
Stupid like that. Keep talking.
That is
Keep
the
going.
dumbest. That is the dumbest thing that I'm like, yo, they have the Taliban as their perimeter, right? And then you have to get to the America. And first of all, what you got to understand with a lot of these people, they have hangups about frisking women and touching women, but they love to touch on some little boys. You could Google that. It's called bacha bazi, BACHA BAZI. Yes. They love touching on some little boys, right? But when it comes to women, they don't really want to check. So what happens? You have teams of women suicide bombers that go and they use that chink in the armor. And a person don't really want to touch them, and then they can conceal their bomb in a certain place, okay? And then get through. That person didn't notice that they went past the Afghanis and they went straight to the Americans and got 12 of them if it hasn't risen. You know, I was telling my wife that what they're going to try to do is get someone on a plane and then blow the plane up in the sky.
It's funny you say that because I was thinking the same thing.
Yep.
As to what happened if one of them sift through and had gotten on, you know what, how catastrophic that would be. But right now, the United States government is on the world stage being laughed at as if we were for play. And truly, we are for play. How are you going to say that you are withdrawing your troops and then you come back and say when some of them are perishing at the behest of these folks, and say you're going to come back and you're going to kill all these people? Hold up. Didn't you just say you're pulling everybody out? Make up your mind. Right. Now you're telling the people about your covert ops. When did we start doing this? This is what I'm saying. We're doing things at a novice level. This administration is just ridiculous. They are ridiculous. And your girl, you know who your girl is, Kama Sutra.
That's your girl. That ain't my girl.
Kama Sutra. I don't play around with Kama Sutra. She hadn't said one thing about what's going on. It speaks to who she is. It speaks to who she is. It speaks to who she is.
I think it speaks to who she is in that she knows she's second fiddle. So she better not open her melanated mouth when the white man is talking. Because in this time, the president is the commander in chief. So she ain't saying nothing. Massa ain't going to allow her.
Okay. So even with that, but not saying anything about these troops, you give no words of condolence. I mean,
yeah.
Come on now. Come on. I mean, I get it. She's not a mother. I'm not a mother, but you are that hard. I mean, I can go hardcore. I can be just hard as a man. But really, you say nothing? You say nothing. And you're supposed to be second in terms of if this man does not make it through, you're going to be at the helm taking the torch. No, no. This is, it's, I don't want to get into sexism on here, but this is a lot of times why a lot of men in America say that women cannot properly lead, because she can't even get out of her feelings when it's something like this going down. I mean, you have other people in Congress and the Senate that come out and say, this is egregious. I feel sorry for these the people who perished, their families, et cetera, because you got to be at home, and they come home and bring you that folded flag, and you know what's going on. When they come to your door and bring you that folded flag, you know what time it is. So it's strange. It's strange in that point. Okay, it's strange in that point. Now I'm going to get back to some of these comments. All right, we got Mad Capper on here saying, yeah, I think we have normalized our self-hatred. We don't have a benchmark or standard to compare our behavior to. I don't necessarily, so Mad Capper, I don't consider letting plagues in your community continue to pilferage their ill ways on their own community to be self-hatred. That's not self-hatred to me. To me, I'm going to speak for my own. That's not self-hatred. Just like any other ill, it needs to be dealt with. I don't consider that to be self-hatred. Now, that's just me. I'm sure Knock does not consider that to be self-hatred either. He'll be back.
All right,
soon.
I was having battery issues. I'm still here. I'm listening. But could you put it up on the screen? I want to put some respect on that brother's. I hope it's a brother.
Okay,
Matt Capper, your brother. Yeah, I think we have normalized our self-hatred. Okay, we don't have a benchmark or standard to compare our behavior to. I think we have normalized. Leave it up there. Leave it up. I'm analyzing.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've normalized. Yeah, I think to a degree, self-hatred amongst Black people has been normalized. Absolutely. The "your mama so black" jokes, "you so dumb," that has become normal for us. It's become normal for us to, pull out a phone and watch us kill us. And yeah, I believe that is self-hatred. But the second part, we don't have a benchmark or standard to compare our behavior to. I think the whole world is kind of going in the direction away from morality. Do we own the lion's share of it? I don't think so. But when it comes to Black us, I think that there is a part of us that have normalized self-hatred. I love Black us, and I think most people in this chat love Black us. So I don't want to paint the whole Black population as self-hating fools, but there's a lot of them out there, from the bleachers, right, to the swirlers, to the people that I ain't gonna say his name, but the guy, the impolite guy, being a predator on our young children.
Pedialyte.
Yeah, Pedialyte. Yeah, him. There's a lot of self-hatred, because if the Black woman was God, like he said, then he wouldn't be, tampering.
But see, my contention is not that it's self-hatred. When you have plagues within your community that are doing egregious things to their own, I don't consider that to be self-hatred. I consider that to be like a disease, a cancer, a plague. And what you do with those is you go ahead and put that down. I don't consider now. I do get what you're saying in terms of the other things, but when it comes to community and town business, no, that's not self-hatred. That is people who want to perpetuate their sick, demented, twisted minds on their own community. No, that is not self-hatred. That's, I'm going to do what I want to do, and nobody's going to check me. See?
Yeah, I agree. I don't
know if you saw Knock. This happened, I want to say, about a month and a half ago. There was a vigilante group in Texas that beat a man down because I think he had shot someone. Liz, you may have seen that. This group, and they beat him to death. They beat him to death. He had done something in the community. So the people, of course, everybody's saying they better not try these people or do anything to these people for doing this to this man. Okay? He's a cancer. So see, yeah, I don't know. That's my own contention. If you're gonna be staying back, it's time. We cannot, like you said as well, depend on others what we can do for ourselves. And some folks don't like to hear that we need to be doing some street justice, but I'm all for it.
So
I'm all
I'm with
for it.
that 100%. Like the bringing back the drop squad. Um,
See,
yeah, that's how you and I we
yes,
see. I ain't gonna incriminate myself on it because I ain't never do nothing like that. But I'm saying in terms of
that's right.
things that
That's
you
right.
can or
You never
can't
did.
say, on in a public forum. But
That's
look,
right.
there's a way to deal with pedophiles. I already told my wife if anything happened to my children in that vein, like she already understands, and she expects that person to not make it to the court system, and she is correct in that expectation. I'm not going to
Yes.
leave the justice of the or in the hands of the ops. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna
Gotcha.
do it. But you have to move a certain way to get that
Exactly.
proximity
You gotta be
to met
smart.
out that justice. You feel me? So I'll
Exactly.
just leave it at
You
that.
gotta be smart. So someone here, Benjamite Sis says, is it true? She's talking about Ghana. Is it
Yeah,
true
I
that
know.
they are claiming people are infected and forcing them into hotels?
You answer that one first.
So let me say this. Um, there is corruption everywhere you go. Everywhere. Specifically, this in Ghana, me personally, I've never experienced that. Okay. I've traveled there twice since we've had this panorama going on. Okay. And I have not experienced that. Now, I'm not going to negate other people's experiences because their experiences are their experiences. However, Lizzabitty has never dealt with this. So personally, I cannot say that that is true or not. What I will say is this: yes, there's corruption in Ghana. That's facts. That's facts. Mm-hmm. That's corruption. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It
Look,
is.
like I said, I don't
Anytime
want
you
to.
deal with humans with a tongue in their mouth, you're gonna deal with liars, cheats, thieves, killers, people who covet other people's families, etc., etc., etc. And there it is. Go ahead now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with you on that one. There's no definitive proof, in my opinion. But what I can say is that when I went to Ghana for the first and only time, I got my visa from my barber. I got my visa in the barber shop. While I was getting my shape up, a guy walked in. He was like, "Come back here in 1 week with your residency permit, this paper and that paper, and I'll have it for you in a week." I paid him money, and I was like, "Shit, this guy just walked off of my passport." A week later, exactly at the time that he said, came back with my visa. Right? Obviously, I had to put a little salt, pepper, and ketchup on the price, right? But I sat next to a young Ghanaian who lives in Amsterdam. When he and we were talking together during the flight, waiting to go through customs or through immigration, they pulled him and they said, "Look, your visa is no good. You pay 150 or you're going back to Holland." He went to the embassy in The Hague, and I got mine from a barbershop. I was good money. He wasn't. Take what you will.
Exactly. Exactly. So as we said, there's corruption everywhere. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so here we go. Now, Benjamin's sister here is I'm not. The Bible is a direct benchmark to compare ourselves to. Okay, well we don't deal with the Bible over here.
I don't deal with
Okay,
the
nope.
babble. The babble. Look. Let's check this out. Hold on, sis. Hold on.
Okay,
I'm gonna retract what I said because I called it the
okay.
babble. But although I don't believe it, as a black man that loves other black people, I can't talk about throwing shots, or respecting each other's decisions without respecting each other's beliefs. So if that sister believes in that and that's her guide as far as a benchmark, then continue, sis. My personal belief on it doesn't even matter, but if it's gonna keep you
Yeah,
on the right path, then continue with it.
Yeah, I don't have anything for that. All right.
We'll talk
I
behind
don't
the
have anything
scenes.
for that. I'm honest. I don't have anything for it because
Yeah,
the original Bible is not what they putting out in these churches. The original Bible that came up out of ancient Abyssinia, which is called modern day Ethiopia, is different.
maybe she's talking about that one though.
So
Maybe she's
here we
talking
go.
about that Bible. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
You
necessarily know
don't
if it
like
was called
Buddhism.
a Bible back then, though. I'm just saying. I don't
Okay,
know what it
okay.
was called, and I've been to Ethiopia, but hey. All right, Kama Sutra was talking about early Christmas gift shopping, but our food shelves are empty. Baby, y'all better watch. Winter is coming. I'm going to be on Lance's channel. I think Sunday. We're going to be talking about winter is coming. So we will
Yeah.
discuss all of that. All of that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Donnie goes in, says, keep the good and eliminate the bad. All right. Okay, finish the race. VL said so many horrific stories that don't know if I remember that again. Okay, yeah, I want to say, Liz, it was about a month. It was about a month and a half ago. It was about a month and a half ago. But he had killed someone, and they caught him, and a band of and yeah, they killed him. They killed him. They killed him. Wait. Donnie goes in and says this. We'll finish up in about 5 minutes. Look what Donnie says. That's what's up. A haircut and a visa. Mighty right.
Now it was even more expensive than that salt, pepper, and ketchup. I had to remember. I had to lug like this big, it's like a cheese wheel. It weighed probably like 15 pounds because I had to deliver it to the barber's wife in Ghana. So at my Airbnb, the guy didn't come for like a week. So I'm like, babysitting this big block of cheese, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just go to the embassy the next time. Every time you go somewhere, not every time, but I'm sure Ghanaians that go back home are not, I don't want to say burdened, but they're tasked with bring this, bring that, and I got caught up in that. So next time I'll just be going to the embassy.
Well, I want to thank you, Knock, for coming on, and thank the chat and everyone for engaging. Yes, Liz, the panorama, baby, the panorama. And just talking about this subject matter of the relationship in DamErica. Now, I know you don't want to call it DamErica, but damn,
Yeah,
Erica.
no, I don't.
Damn,
I
Erica.
totally reject that. Damn,
Damn,
Erica.
man.
It's worse than the America. Right? Look, America ain't been that great to us, but you know what I'm saying. You could take advantage of the opportunity and make it pop anywhere in this world. Take advantage of the opportunity is what I'm saying.
Okay, and the one solution that came out of this tonight, if you recall us speaking, was to go and get if you have a small business, make sure that you're registered at Dunsford and Bradford, sam.gov, and then get on the GSA to be a preferred vendor. So you can do some business and get some of this coin. Yes, get some of this coin if that's what you're into. Be smart about it. Okay? So I want to thank everyone for joining tonight. I'm going to take it out. Why are you laughing, Donnie? Donnie is over here laughing. I'm going to take us out. So you all have a good day. Lizzabitty is out.